The integrity of an entire judicial system is destroyed forever. Not only in Ohio, but in our country, when you have two judges and a prosecutor's office involved in submitting false evidence through court that's taken a baby from a different state in Kentucky, and this is just normal for Ohio politicians and public officials. But it's not. This isn't the 80s. This isn't 1920. Social media exposes stuff like this, and that's the beauty of social media. I don't know when our politicians are going to realize that. They can ignore and they can duck things all they want, but it's out there. When you have a state agency like Ohio Department of Jobs and Services submit false evidence that claims a parent in Ohio has custody when they have none, and then a judge submits that evidence through court when they both know that it's wrong. The child's only lived in Kentucky with the father, and he's only lived in Kentucky with the mother. She lost custody. So Ohio files and submits false evidence through court that's just stolen a kid from Kentucky, and it's no big deal. What's next? I mean, how much worse can it get? And the Ohio Attorney General's office knows about the case. The father has contacted his office over 100 times. And nobody can run. Nobody can hide. That's the beauty of social media, because our news media in this country, they're just as bad as the politicians, if not worse. And they're the reason why things like this happen. They do not represent your interests. Our country's a business. The news is a business. And that's why I started Rider Cash Media and Rider Cash News, to expose public corruption and criminality. And we've exposed two judges, the prosecutor's office, Child Protective Services, a GAL, a sheriff's department, who won't even enforce the law. This is our country, and the stakes can never be higher. This is why voting is important, but next time you should really check up on some of the issues. Did you know that in Ohio, a prosecutor and a sheriff can rape little kids, they can murder, they can do anything they want to do? And the only way Attorney General Yost's office will file a complaint, investigate, or do anything is if that prosecutor or that sheriff asks for their help or asks them to investigate themselves, which never happens. This is why prosecutors like Brigham Anderson can do anything they want. They're untouchable, and they know they are. They can even steal a kid from a different state by submitting false evidence through court. I mean, they've committed a crime. It's federal kidnapping, it's state kidnapping, and it's a false complaint. I mean, a parent can't have dependency charges if she never had custody, but the Ohio Attorney General condones this kind of behavior from a local prosecutor. He doesn't have a problem with a prosecutor's office being involved in putting false language on a complaint that charges a parent with dependency that didn't have any custody, and it's just impossible. The two can't exist. The Ohio Attorney General has no problem with judges and prosecutors' office submitting false evidence to take a black kid from Kentucky. The Ohio Attorney General just doesn't think that's a problem. That's acceptable. And the case is out in public. CPS's courtroom testimony of Dave Carey's out in public. Dave Carey admits to lying several times on the complaint and admits to perjury. The prosecutor's office is implicated in the crime by Tenica Ferguson, who works for CPS, in a bombshell recorded phone conversation. She clearly states the prosecutor's office put the false language on a complaint that's responsible for taking a 5-month-old black baby out of Kentucky, and the Ohio Attorney General doesn't see a problem in that. I guess this is just how black people are always going to be treated. I guess that even a 5-month-old black baby is not off limits. This is just acceptable to the Ohio Attorney General. And I'm shocked. You know, it's bad enough it happens to anybody's kid, but a baby? And then, what a coincidence, the baby's black. I mean, because I've never heard of a case like this. I've never heard of a judge submitting false evidence and CPS submitting false evidence that is against a parent in Ohio that doesn't have custody but takes a kid from a different state. I've never in my life heard of that, and I'm sure you haven't either. And the baby who gets violated just happens to be black. I mean, what a coincidence. This is why Black Lives Matter. This is why black people feel the way they do. This is the way black people have historically been done. But a 5-month-old baby? Are you kidding me? This is just acceptable to the Ohio Attorney General. He has no problem with traumatizing a 5-month-old baby who happens to be black. I mean, what a coincidence. I mean, is that just, what's the odds that the baby would be black? I mean, that's just a big coincidence. Because I've never heard this happening to anybody else. I've never heard of it happening to any white children. I've never heard of it happening to any white parents. I've just never heard of a case this bad. This case is the worst case I've ever witnessed when you have this many people involved in federal kidnapping. I mean, that's what the case is. To use deception to take away a liberty interest from another and then across state lines is the definition under the federal guidelines. It's kidnapping. There's nothing in the language that says a judge and CPS, they can do this. They're special, but for some reason they do just that and they get away with it. And I don't know where the hell the Ohio Attorney General is. He obviously condones this type of behavior and he doesn't see a problem with violating a black baby's rights. I mean, it's unreal. Go to Ryder Cash News and RyderCashMedia.com for more. Ask the Ohio Attorney General, does he not see a problem in that?